Make sure we straight. Make sure we straight.
Peace, 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 family.
Straight. Yeah, hope it's right. I mean, I be messing up when it come to knowing how to go live. Sometimes I be screwing up big time. Don't be set up and don't nobody be in here, and then I'm thinking somebody coming, ain't nobody nowhere.
All right, so we are carrying on a conversation that we started from our Instagram following. We have a lot of folks that have been, a lot of teams or a lot of people interested in teaming that have been coming to us and wanting to actually learn more about what it is to get
Yeah.
into team trucking. So we
What up,
decided to come over
Andre?
here and go live with y'all.
Facts. Like I said, we definitely piggybacking off of some conversations that we was having earlier. So real quick, let me get a mic check. What we sound like? We good? We good? Can you hear us? I know last time we went live on YouTube, I had some mic mess ups that we had to make some adjustments after the fact. So I just want to make sure we good to go. Let me know something.
And look,
Talk
y'all
to
make
me.
sure y'all
Talk
say
to me.
something. When y'all come over here, let us know where y'all at. Let us know if you a team truck driver or if you want to be a team trucker. Let us know. Let
Come
us
up a
know
little
who you are, where you
higher.
at. Give a shout out in the comments to us.
Yeah, we good. I see a few people up in here though. We got some thumbs up going on, so that's always good for y'all to.
Saloa.
Hey, you
Peace D
feel me?
Major if he's in here watching too.
He know he. If he ain't in here, he in there. You feel me? Yeah, go ahead.
All right, so first of all, we on chill time. We've been chilling for the last 2 days, I guess. 2 days.
Today is day 2, yeah.
Yeah, today is day 2. So we pick our load up on tomorrow.
And it's coming to a close very fast.
Yeah, so we've been chilling.
Yeah.
So we had some time. All right, so one of the things I wanted to talk about is we were saying that when you're teaming, do you really know your teammate?
Checking in from Brisk City, New Jersey, or Brick City, Jersey.
Jersey. What's
Okay,
up?
that's Newark, Brick
So
City.
like when you come out here and you get into teaming, do you really know your mate? Okay. Now every teaming situation is not gonna be the same. We're referring to couples. We're referring to couples.
For the most part. I'm just saying.
And so okay, they watching together. D Major and Saloy.
You already know it.
Yeah, so we're referring to couples. So the main thing that we have been talking about is a lot of times you think you know your mate and you don't. And team trucking, you're gonna learn real quick who your mate is. Yes, you're gonna learn real fast.
Facts.
I wrote down some notes because I didn't want to come over here and be like, blah, 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 you know.
Stick to the script.
So I'm gonna just share like a couple things, and then we'll just piggyback off of things that I think that matters. I remember when we first started teaming.
Hit the like button, man. I don't say that too much, but hit the like button, man. Put the thumb on
Hello
that
from
thing, man.
Richmond, Cali.
Hey.
All right, so yeah, peace. So when we first got in trucking, a lot of people used to say this, like, there was a lot of people that was like teaming was equal. And I remember Mo always used to say that, matter of fact, I wrote it down so I could quote it right. Equality as a team doesn't mean equal.
Oh, just in general, yes. Identical, no. Equality doesn't mean identical.
Oh, there you go. All right.
So you misquoted me.
I misquoted him. My bad.
And if you need reference on what that even means, you can. Two people can have an equal thing, or equal whatever,
Unit.
but it doesn't look identical. You know what I mean?
Correct.
We can have equal say in something, but it's not identical. You know what I mean? It's still going to be some variances within equality. If that makes sense to y'all.
Right. So before you consider teaming, you want to establish that. You want to establish the roles and the responsibilities that each person is going to have in your teaming experience.
Right.
So, like, I could just give my example. Like, for me, you know, my responsibilities are the paperwork. I do all the paperwork. I manage all of the accounting. I don't really do it myself, but I make sure it get done. And I deal with the logistics of teaming, and then food prep, truck stuff, you know, um, those duties. I do all of that.
Keep the
You
truck
know,
smelling good.
yeah, keep the truck smelling good, wash clothes, all that good stuff, all that good stuff. But when it comes to the actual daily running of the truck, now I do drive, and I know how to do everything you're supposed to do as a CDL truck, CDL class CDL holder. I know how
Class
to do
A.
it. Class A, that's right. He does everything else, and we're okay with that. What's the everything else?
I mean,
Fueling, anything dealing with the outside of the truck, except for when it's time to do pre-trips and stuff like that. We do that, but overall,
just all
he
the
runs the
aspects
truck
of
the
running
way
the
he
truck.
wants to run it.
Trip planning,
Truck planning.
just all the miscellaneous things that come with operating the truck as a whole.
He goes to the
Pretty
receivers
much
a
what
lot of
loads to
times.
accept, what loads we're not going to accept. Yeah,
The
I do all
shipper.
the shipping. I deal with all of that. I don't really have her. And a lot of times nowadays, especially, there's a lot of freight. We have to go into places together because they literally need both signatures
Yeah.
on a lot of stuff, that sort of thing. But for the most part, if it's not something that she has to be involved with, going into shippers and receivers, that's not something that I require her to do either. You know,
So
I'm also handle all of those things just to eliminate any type of misunderstandings.
all right, so I was just getting ready to add to that. So one of the reasons we decided that that's how it was going to be is because he knows his temperaments. Now, you might be doing something different with your team. And it might be a whole different situation. Maybe your wife does that and you don't have a problem with that. And if there's an issue, you know how to handle it. However y'all decide to do it. The main thing is establish that
Right,
from the beginning what it's going to be,
right.
what the team and responsibility is going to be.
You have to.
Right.
It just creates a more peaceful environment to eliminate guesswork, to eliminate question. You know what I mean? You want stuff to be in order as much as possible because it makes it easier for everybody.
Right, right. I added this one. This is a new one. Accountability, commitment, and commitment. I believe that you should have this coming in from the gate.
You said accountability.
Accountability and commitment.
Okay, I thought you said
We're gonna be
commitment twice. I was
accountable
like,
to each
oh.
other, and then we have to be accountable to our business, running the truck.
Facts, because the business
And then
comes
we have
first.
to be committed to each other, and we have to be committed to teaming.
The business comes first. So
Well, the relationship was already established
yes,
before we
we're not
came out
questioning
here.
that, but
So,
the business, because the business is the whole reason that we're doing it.
Right.
And without the business, we have nothing else. No other reason to even be out here.
right. Because I really think that earlier when we was talking on our Instagram live, we were sharing how a lot of couples were struggling with teaming, like they couldn't get along on the truck. And we just believe that's because the focus is not the focus. You know,
Yes.
we're not coming out here so that we can have fun and just travel and just be lovey-dovey and,
Nah.
you know, we work when, we going to work, but, you know what I mean? Like when we have arguments, we just going to do like we was when we was at home. Like, no, we
Go
can't
Phoenix,
do
what
that.
up?
We
Facts.
can't do that. We're not at home.
Nope.
And this is a lifestyle. So adapting to or being able to adapt to what trucking entails is going to make the difference. Which I wrote a whole list. I'll share some of that with y'all later. I ain't trying to be all too boring.
Oh, let's get it. Let's get it.
But okay, so when you come out here, you want to make sure that you are a person that's really adaptable. You have to be able to adapt to a changing environment, a changing daily life structure. Like for the most part, you're not going to come out here and things are going to be the same, and this everything is just going to be what will be a word for that? Just regular. It's just not going to be that. Every day you will have to expect the newness of something different.
Every day there's new challenges
There's
that
new
present
challenges,
themselves.
right.
Every day.
But you have to be able to adapt to that.
Facts.
And
you
some
must.
people-
because it's ever changing.
I was one of those people before I got on became a trucker. That was an issue for me. Even though I've learned how to adapt to things in my personal life, I'm really good at that. But when I first came on the road as a trucker, that was a struggle for me because I knew what my task was from day to day and I knew how to navigate in that. And that gave me a lot of peace. It was like, okay, well, I have to be here at this time, then I'm going to do this, pick the kids up, cook, whatever. Wake up tomorrow, do the same thing.
Right.
Not trucking.
No.
That's
No.
not how it is in trucking.
I mean, it's times that we know we're going to be in a certain city. I had to learn this the hard way. You can't just be booking a room prematurely before you get somewhere or making plans to be somewhere because you know you're going to be there. The dispatch said it's going there. You're going to be here at a certain day, certain time. And in your head, you start making plans for being there. And then halfway in the route, everything can change. Or you get to somewhere to make the delivery, everything can change.
I'm sorry, I gotta pause for a minute.
What
We
up?
didn't even see D. Raj was up in here.
The king!
He said rich folks going live. Cut it out.
Come on, D-Rod.
Definitely
Hey, man, I need
asking
you.
for a loan. Whatever.
Hey, you know you good. Hey, I need you, bro. We've been on the veggies hard, D-Rod. We need you back, brother.
Let me just shout out and take a pause right quick because we using our other phone. So let me just speak to y'all right quick. Ghost Town Bullies, what's up?
Yeah.
Andre Hairston, what's up?
What up?
Saloa, we already spoke. DJ FK NFT. Oh, from Richmond, Cali. Okay. And Gold Phoenix.
Yeah. Hey, man. D-Rod, we need you, bro. We've been on melons, heavy watermelon, a lot of fruit. We literally only eating between certain hours a day. We've incorporated the only meat, if you want to call, I can say if you want to call it that, but the only substance outside of a fruit and a vegetable we have eaten in the past almost month is probably a little tuna out of the pack. But other than that, we've been strictly fruits and veggies. I mean, the tuna kind of, I guess, the times that we felt like we were breaking and we really just needed something as we slowly made some of these transitions. But it's crazy. I posted a picture today on my Instagram. She made me a side-by-side of a picture of me in June
Yep.
and a picture we took today.
Major difference.
And I'm like, yo, and all you keep saying is, look at your head.
Yeah, his head was big, y'all.
Well, yours,
Whatever. Be nice.
I'm saying. But yeah, man,
Sideways.
we need you, D-Rod.
So we gonna keep sharing with y'all what we eating in our health journey. But I'm gonna tell you, if you want to find out about health, go on over there to D-Raj.
Oh,
page.
D-Rod ain't doing that.
But he got stuff on his page.
It's old stuff.
Ah!
I'm telling yeah. He know. Go on over there and see. You tell me.
Ray David in here.
What up, Riggedy Ray?
Thank you
But yeah,
for coming
man,
over, y'all.
this trucking thing it's forever changing.
Right.
And that's something you got to be able to do, adjust on the fly. You cannot put stuff in pencil, not pen. Because sometimes you're going to need to
have to
erase
change it, yeah.
and scratch and go back to the drawing board. You almost go back to the drawing board almost every
Okay,
day.
Ray.
Because stuff can change at the drop of a hat. You think you on one load, and then you get a phone call or a message that you're coming off that load, and they're putting you on something else. So, getting too, what they call it, putting a cart before the horse, like getting too far ahead of what it is, it could be detrimental to you. You can plan stuff, but when you start spending money on things, thinking you can be somewhere, because at any given time, not even to mention your truck breaking down or stuff like that, but just appointments, things can just change.
Things can always change.
And
It's
you need to
forever
be able to make
changing,
those
yeah.
adjustments. So keep your bread in your pocket until you know for sure, because the load's going to dictate everything.
Okay. So I'm gonna give y'all this list right quick, and then we're gonna go back to the relationship. Being resourceful. You need to be resourceful. You need to know how to live off less.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, you have to learn how to live off less. It's, even if you come out here and you're in a pretty good condition financially, you never know what situation gonna be. Like, for instance, you might be at a shipper or a receiver and can't leave, or have to stay with the load, and there's no Walmarts, there's no stores, there's no places around, and you might not have enough stuff in your truck to last you.
Man,
We had that happen
quick
to us
story.
one
We
time.
was in California one time. I don't even know how we end up somewhere that we couldn't get nothing, and it won't nothing to get. And we got some survival foods.
Yeah, we had.
So we literally had a can or two of black beans that probably been in there so long
you
that the
telling
label was almost gone off of it. You might have had some bread.
Breadcrumbs.
What? No, you made breadcrumbs out the bread.
Oh,
They-
yeah, we
they
had
want
bread.
breadcrumbs.
Yeah, we had bread.
Basically, she made some black bean burgers. We had the skillet to cook them on, and we just ate them as patties. But you talking about something that was good,
Yeah, it was busting.
like little stuff like that. you never know when you're gonna need it. You will never know when
You
you're
do
gonna
what
need
you
the
gotta do
waters.
when you gotta do it.
I'm not a fan of going ham on the noodles, but keep the noodles on deck.
Yeah,
All that kind of
crackers,
stuff,
all
man. You
that kind
just
of stuff.
never
Yeah.
know. Stuff that can stay, that can last a long time, because you never know when you have to pull it out.
Yep. All right, living off less, being an independent thinker. I'm gonna just go run through them right quick, then we're
Okay.
gonna come back up.
All
Being
right.
an independent thinker, being disciplined, emotionally stable.
That's a lot of y'all problem.
Oh,
That's a lot. That's a lot of people's problem out there.
oh,
They not emotionally
I
stable.
thought you were saying women.
Mainly, if we're talking about teaming and the emotions that come along with the two people, the woman's going to be the one that's more.
I think it depends on the
easily
woman,
swayed.
but you're right. I mean, I can say it depends on the woman,
And I'm not.
on the type of woman.
I'm not.
But yes, we are definitely
again,
emotional.
We're not talking about.
Yeah. But that's how we understand men, and
Well,
we
I'm
understand
not talking about
that
possibility. I'm
nurturing
just speaking
portion of it.
probable. In more ways than one, a woman always will be more of an emotional
yeah. I
person.
can
That's
see
that's
that.
y'all nature. I mean, are we going against that, or what are we talking about?
Gold Phoenix said a lot of people in the truck depressed and don't even know it. Facts. We about to talk. Facts.
Yeah.
That's
yeah.
that's the truth. That's the truth.
That's why.
And this goes back to, let me find it on here while we talking. Having a long time. Matter of fact, I'm gonna come back to my list and I'm gonna go back up to the relationship stuff, because Gold Phoenix just brought us back to what we was talking about before.
All right,
So when you get on the truck and you're as a couple, you're gonna need your alone time. So you're gonna need freedom to have your alone time. I was just talking to a team couple not too long ago, and I was saying that you have to have your hobbies. You have to have the things that fulfill you. You have to know what you need, because you're going to have a lot of alone time to be in your head. So if their head ain't right, if their head space ain't right,
like
that's
we
not
see
good
it.
in the truck by yourself. It's not good on the truck with somebody.
You see it.
Either.
You see it. And even, I mean, YouTube space is where we get to really see a lot of different people's walk and a lot of different people's travels, or just social media in general. And if you sit back and watch people, you see people that over time they done lost their mind out here. They out here literally with no direction, no foundation, and they just winging it based on emotion, men and women. And they crashing out. Like, no lie, they crashing out, man. They can't sustain, or they end up just doing the most drastic things, all in the name of boredom, or just having nothing to do consistently that really interests them like that. So they just end up doing any and everything. I mean, man, I got a call from my cousin today, and just he out here. I mean, literally driving for however long, but not even properly logging, and had an issue go down, and he probably be in risk of not driving anymore, just from not doing the little things, getting too caught up in other stuff, and not properly keeping everything in the forefront the right ways. Like, you can't skip stuff, man. You can't cut corners. You can't put the two before the one. Like, things have a certain order and a certain structure if you're going to function out here, because all of this stuff is constantly in motion. So if your moves and your steps aren't in order and are strategized, you nothing but a crash course.
But that's why we're talking about the things you need to consider before teaming, because truth is, if you're depressed or you're dealing with sadness and loneliness before becoming a trucker, even in a teaming situation, that's gonna be heightened.
Oh,
it's gonna be heightened
on a thou wow.
Yeah. So when you and don't get me wrong, now you can still go through depression and still be functional and everything, but you got to be able to recognize it in your partner, and no matter what you going through in this teaming situation, what they going through, you feel it. Mm-hmm. You see it, you know it, and you want to be able to help each other. So that goes back to my list.
Because that's the beautiful part about teaming is having someone, especially if they really a loved one. It's hard for me to speak of teaming from just two strangers in this truck together, but when you spend that much time with someone in that enclosed of a space, keeping each other up and on point and accountable
Yes.
in the long haul. I mean, I don't know if I could have survived 7 years out here. Literally, I probably could have, but it definitely wouldn't be. My days wouldn't be nowhere near as fulfilling
Yeah, no.
and just pleasurable in this trucking space without you in the truck with me. Like I couldn't even imagine trucking this long. Cause knowing me, like I was talking earlier in the Instagram, I'm such a risk taker and
You
loose
really
cannon
is.
from time to time that I would have been probably tricked myself up out of this already a long time ago.
And so, just speaking to that, if you teaming out here or you considering teaming, you got to know that you're coming out here together and you got to build each other up.
Mm-hmm.
You got to recognize when your teammate is burnt out. You got to recognize when they're unfulfilled. You have to recognize the times when you're doing things that's causing them to be off.
Right.
Everybody got that ticking meter where it's like you pushing me right now. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so you got to be able to recognize those types of things, because you're not out here working by yourself. You're a team. If you want your team wheels to keep burning, you're gonna have to consider all of that.
Yeah.
Being secure in your relationship.
Okay.
Okay, this is a huge one for men who want their wives to get on the truck or their girlfriends or their mates or vice versa. I'm just going to speak to men's wanting women to get on the truck. You have to make your woman feel secure. She needs to feel secure. And a woman is not supposed to have to let me say this the way I
Yeah.
really
Speak
wanna
lightly
say
because
it.
you're talking to the homies out
Let
here
me
and they
say
ain't
this the
for
way
that.
I really think it need to be said. Yes, you should make your request known to your mate, but there are things that should be known without your woman having to tell you. That makes her feel secure. So Lois says sometimes you have to be quiet even when you have something to say. Very much so. Very much so.
So say
That
what you
goes
said
back
again.
to.
So you say being able
I'm gonna
to
come back to that, Saloa.
without having to say it.
You have to be able to secure your relationship, and your woman should feel secure with you without her having to tell you what to do.
So that
She should
means
feel that
so that means as the man
in the relationship.
we need to be paying close attention.
Of course.
Not getting so caught
Yes.
up in the trucking stuff that we lose sight of the person
Yeah.
sitting a foot away from you.
Yeah, because I'm gonna speak something, and I know that some people probably gonna be like, "Oh, that's petty," and it's not. When we're on this truck together with our mates, and we have a long time, and you spending a lot of time on your phone, that can make a woman feel insecure. Now I'm gonna tell you why. Not because you think that not because the woman feels like you're talking to someone else or whatever the case may be. She just may feel a little insecure in the sense that she don't have no outlets. When we on this truck, now I'm saying yes, we
Yeah,
both
she
have
got
a
the phone,
phone.
too.
Yeah, we do have a phone. But then that's one thing. When you come out here on trucking, you probably will get into social. If you wasn't into social, you probably will, because
Yeah.
it's going to be how you're going to connect with other people
Right.
and your family and stuff like that.
Right.
But when you have a long time and you on this truck and y'all stop and y'all rest, or when y'all have time to just be with each other, you need to be present at some point. At some
Yeah.
point, you have to be like, you have to recognize it, and say it like, let me put my phone down and tap into this. We're going to watch this movie. We're going to eat this food. We're going to do this. We're going to do that and do that. And then there will be times where it's like both of y'all is on y'all phone doing whatever you're going to do. But what
Right.
I'm saying is, in all of that, that's something that y'all need to build within y'all relationship.
Right. It's no different
because
than being
those
at dinner.
small things
Yeah, no-
can really cause, because of
Division.
It can cause, especially when you're a new trucker, because when I first came out here in trucking and we was kind of functioning, it felt like, dang, he act like I ain't even on the truck. But I had to realize, no, seriously.
I remember.
And it hurt me. It hurt me because I was like, dang, how can you be in this truck and not talk to me? How can you be in this truck and not recognize me? But I had to realize that when we came out here in the truck, he's in complete work mode. And that's how he was at work. He put his headphones in and listened to his music. He didn't think about, people probably had to flag him down to get his attention because he's in goal mode. He's in grind mode. He's in hustle mode. And a lot of times he would just be the way he was. And so when I got on the truck and got to see how he worked, which we was talking about in our Instagram, we're two different type of workers. My career that I had before we got into trucking was one that was social
Right.
all day.
Right.
Because I did hair, so I'm talking to clients all day, all day, all day.
Gossiping.
It's like therapy. I wouldn't call it gossip.
Yeah.
So we're having conversations all day. But he's in his line of work, he's independent, ain't no conversations going on, but in his head.
Yeah, I got a task.
So we had two different types of work
Ethics.
And we came together. We had to understand each other how it was. He knows I like to express. He like to be quiet. When he express something, you gonna know it. But other times he's just taking in information and just doing how he do. But that's something you gotta learn about your mate.
Facts.
Um,
Because that just goes back to just having, we spoke of it earlier, but the old adage is you don't know people until you live with them, and that's 100% true.
right.
But it gets even deeper than that. You don't know people until you get on this truck.
What? No, you don't.
That changes everything, man. It's going. It can it definitely will make or break
Thanks,
you.
sideways.
And that's a fact.
Not Gold Phoenix. Soloish, when she was saying sometimes you have to be quiet even when you have something to say. Yes,
Yeah,
you do.
I love that. Say
There's
it.
always going to be somebody. There's always going to be somebody that has to take down. I love my best friend's father. He always says this saying. He says, you got to learn how to take one for the team.
Fellas,
and-
we've been taking one for the team for a long time. But go
But
ahead.
as women, as men, in your team and situation, you got to learn how to take one for the team. Clearly, I can be upset about something, but how long I'm going to hold on to that and let that fester into other things, And I'm personally, I recognize in myself that you can't function like that. First of all, we don't go to sleep mad.
No.
We don't do that.
Her
You know
uncle
what I
told us
mean?
that years ago.
We
when
don't go to
first got
sleep
married.
upset with each other. And we've actually gotten, I think we do a great job now. We've gotten really good at letting stuff go. Because in the past, I think he was a lot easier, better with it than I was.
For sure.
Because I'm like, I was more of a shut you out person, which is the worst type of communication. If you are in this truck and you a team, and I'm telling you to shut your mate out, you about to end your team trucking
and possibly your relationship.
and your relationship, because that is the worst form of communication. When somebody give you the silent treatment.
Yeah,
now this is not what Saloa's talking about. What Saloa's talking about is being quiet when you have something to say in that moment. She not talking about the silent treatment. That's two different things.
I get it.
So you got to be careful with that, because that's almost like what is it, like pushing somebody out? What's the word for it? I don't even know what the word is for it.
It's just like a blatant slap in the face.
It's dismissive. It's dismissive.
Yes, and that right there, you don't dismiss me.
Right.
Because I know what type of energy, effort, and I know what I bring to the table. I know this don't go without me, period. A whole lot of stuff without me will come to a cease. So don't dismiss me, because
So
I
Lois
can
said,
carry, I
can't
can
sweat
carry
the
this.
small stuff. It take time,
Facts.
though, in that space.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Absolutely.
does. Gold Phoenix said men have tunnel vision when it comes to working. It's why women who can see our blind spots are so valuable, because I promise, in bold capital letters, we don't see it in the moment.
Nope.
Saloa said facts, no silent treatment, just limited nagging.
Yeah.
don't
Cut that
nag.
out.
Yeah,
Cut that out, because it won't get you the results you want. You know what I mean? And if you do get the result from it, it ain't the way you want it, because I'm going to do it in a way that I'm going to make sure you ain't going to want to receive it. You ain't going to want to catch it the way I'm going to throw it.
But I will
Just
add to that.
cause.
Okay, so while we're lingering on that, let's talk about the men and what the women need in situations. Women need to be able to be vulnerable and to
Okay.
communicate and express. You have to give your woman space to make mistakes. You have to let her be herself.
Mm-hmm.
I know for a fact some of y'all out here teaming and you're yelling at your wife or you're yelling at your mate because you're expecting them to drive like you, be like you, think like you, remember all of the directions like you, back up like you, be aggressive if they aggressive driver like you. You gotta let your wife be the wife. You gotta let your husband be the husband.
Yeah.
And y'all gotta figure that out. Now, he be yelling. He do yell at me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you yell. He yell.
Yeah.
Yeah, you yell. Okay. He raised his voice. Is that yelling?
I say I can be stern.
Okay. But
Let's say that.
I
Stern.
know the difference between drive this truck than drive this truck. You know what I mean? Like it's two different type of tones he have.
Cap.
No, let me tell you. He he have these moments where in actuality he is what I would call a passenger driver. Because I'm trying to drive, I'm trying to navigate, and he's trying to give me directions, seeing through his eyes, driving the way he drive when I'm driving. And sometimes I just like, you ever, that invisible tune it,
But come on, man. Like
tune it out.
Man,
I have to do that.
Let me give y'all an
and
example.
we don't argue with each other about it.
Even though
but
it don't seem like that.
I do get upset.
Sometimes we can pull into a truck stop. We looking for a parking spot. Now, when I come into the truck stop, I'm gazing, I'm looking. If I see a spot, I'm looking at the best maneuver it's gonna take to get in it, the least, the one of this, the route of least resistance. Like there's certain things I'm looking for. And she ride right past it, John. Like, you ain't see that spot right there. All you had to do was do this, get in there, flip it to you, and it would have been a straight back. Like, oh, I didn't even see it. Like, you ain't see it. Like, what are you doing? Ain't we looking for a spot?
Because you think I'm supposed to think like you. I don't think like you.
But I need you to think like me.
You don't.
We need to be one.
I need to think like me.
We need to be one.
We are one.
A couple.
We're
need to
two
be
minds that come together as one.
Right. So I
Because
gotta
I'm a
let
very
my mind come to
cautious
you.
driver. I'm a very, very cautious driver.
I get caution.
And I pay attention. It's just different than the way you pay attention. Give me my grace. But then on the other hand, there are times when I'm like, babe, can you be my eye? Can you see for me? Can you help me?
Yes.
Or whatever. That's the case. But I'm referring to the teams who are out here. Your mate has just got on the truck with you, or y'all are newly teaming, and you are all in your mate's ear trying to navigate how they drive the truck while they're learning.
Yeah.
While they're learning. This is dangerous.
Yeah.
Not saying that you're not supposed to do that, but it's a way to do it. It's a way to do it. Savage said, Gold Phoenix said, laugh in my AR mode, yell just means you change tunes. Right. So Lord said, my skin has definitely gotten thicker. Yes, girl, yes.
Yeah,
sometimes we have to say, I'm tired, boss. Hey.
Tired, boss.
Hey, yes. All day, every day. Because let me tell you something. When I first came out here, this dude drugged me. Do you hear me? He dragged me. That's the word. He dragged me. Yes, he did.
Cap.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
How?
Because I would be burnt out. Do you hear me? We could take another load.
Oh, you mean from
we could take
running?
Another load.
Hey, we got a 70
we
hour
could do
clock.
a 34. Like, we could take another load. We don't need
to do a 34. We don't need a 34. There's more. There's more paper on the table, so you go get it, man. What are we doing out here?
Okay.
Now it may not have. If I dragged her 1 week, then the next week we'll lighten up, and maybe I won't take a load or two that I would have taken before that. But the objective is to get to the paper, bro. But see, that's the role responsibility. My responsibility is to make the most money. Is to bring in all the bread. She determines how that bread gets distributed. And how bills get paid and things of that nature. Like I told, we got accounts. I don't even know what's in certain places. You know what I mean? It's just how it goes. I can check into it or ask, but
that's
on a consistent basis,
you can do it how you
I don't
want
really,
to do it.
I don't involve myself in all that. My objective is to get out and make the money.
Ray Davis said, "What?
Duty.
That's messed up. She should know that." You know what, Ray? Whose side you on?
He on my
That's
side.
what I want to know. That's what I want to know.
Ray is a man's man.
we're making light. We are making light, but in all honesty, we had issues when we came out here, just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But we've always kept the main focus.
Mm-hmm.
Always. And I'm gonna tell you, through everything, we've always kept the main focus.
Yes.
All right, so we was talking about being secure. We want to make sure also in teaming that your woman has okay, you want to be patient with her. You want to be patient with her or him. You want to be patient because you got to realize that this is new. This is a new situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think that is a huge one because when I'm listening to the things that people are telling us in teaming, it just sounds like nobody's giving each other grace.
Okay.
Like nobody's giving each other enough grace to recognize that y'all are doing something new for the first time. You gotta relearn each other. You have to understand. I mean, a lot of things are going on when you come out here in the team trucking. You figuring out how to manage a relationship in a truck while you're traveling. You're combining your personal life with your business life. You are living off the grid. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah, you are.
You're not feeling and looking like you used to. You have to see each other in the most vulnerable state. I mean, you don't even get the ability to get up and go in the bathroom to take your clothes off and do certain things. As you in a truck, baby, everything is exposed. Everything. Everything is exposed. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And you're also dealing with the emotions of each person or the person that's emotionally tapped out. You dealing with all of that. And then this is just in the truck. You still got family, you still got bills, you still got issues at home. And then you still have to truck and deal with trucking, which is a whole level of a monster right there.
And then you still have just yourself.
Just yourself.
Like for men and at our age, what they call a midlife crisis.
Women
like just
too.
yeah, but just just going through life in general, and just the changes that we all go through from a mental standpoint, physical standpoint. You still gonna have all of those life and personal issues that you gotta suppress and deal with the bigger picture and kind of come back to yourself later, unless you have somebody that can be supportive, that you can feel vulnerable with, that you can speak about certain things to, and that kind of can go through these times with you. Like
These ups and downs.
we've dealt with death, funerals, all the things that can really take an emotional toll on somebody that can't be put into a box. The grieving process. She's spoken openly about losing her father at the end of last year. She could go at any moment. She could see something, hear something, smell something, read something that puts her back in that space. And even though, as much as I want to hurry up and lift her out of that, that ain't nothing tangible that I can just do about it. I got to let her go through that process. That could be in the middle of a load. That could be in the middle of a crucial time period. But I can't just dismiss it. Especially when I have both my parents. So I don't know what that feels like. I can't even imagine what that feels like. But I can watch her go through it, and all I can do is the grace word. It's that's all you can give, and that's all I can do is be there, and literally, like Saloa said, have something to say, but not say nothing. Because there's nothing I can say to fix it. There's nothing I can say to make her feel better. I can try to give an encouraging word here or there. Because her father and myself, we had a good relationship. So I know the type of man he was. I know the type of fighter he was within. So, and she embodies a lot of that. So I can try to impute that type of information to her and let her know, your father's proud of you. Yeah. We got him and his wife into trucking.
We sure did.
Before he passed away. He was
his
driving
wife is
trucks
still
then.
his ex-wife. Well, his widow is still
Yeah.
trucking now.
So it's like, I know he was proud of you.
Yeah.
And you're fulfilling, because he always wanted to go OTR. He never
Yeah.
got a chance to go over the road for real, for real. So you're living out
Yeah.
some dreams that he has. He's
His
watching
legacy, yeah.
you, and he's very much so proud. So a word like that, it may lift her spirits up somewhat. It may be something that can kind of make her maybe pop out of a certain vibe, but it may not.
And see, the thing with that is being in a small space, for me personally, that was a huge battle for me because I never had to deal with my emotional stuff with anybody. I
Most
mean,
of us haven't.
I did with him, but it was when I felt like it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like now you on a truck and something hits you, or you're like Goldfinger said, you get depressed or something's going on and you can't hide it. Like it's you
Yeah.
just can't hide it. And sometimes for me, I don't know about y'all, but when I'm going through something, I don't want to be asked how I'm feeling sometimes. I just
Right.
want to be left alone so that I can deal with it. But you can't really always do that in teaming
Right.
because my mood affects him and his mood affects me. So excuse me, y'all. So you have to be able to say something like, you just gotta be able to say it. Cause like now I may say, I woke up, I was thinking about my dad, and today it's been a little rough for me, but I'm gonna get through it. And he'll be like, hey, and he'll go into whatever he gonna say, and then we'll keep it pushing and keep it moving. He might see some tears, he might not. You know what I mean? Whatever the case may be, and we keep it pushing.
Yeah, and I mean, especially for men, a lot of us definitely don't always share things that's going on with us on the inside, and not living in the truck and living a quote unquote normal life and getting up and going to work every day. You get to escape. Let's just keep
Right.
it a whole buck. You get to escape from your family, from the kids, all of that, and kind of go to your at the job when you're working with majority of people who really don't even know
Hey,
you.
Miss Pearl.
Hey, Pearly. When you're working with people that don't really know you, you can put on any type of facade you want at the job.
Right.
You know what I mean? You can go to the you can be whoever you want to be at the job. You can tell all the stories of who you used to be, what you used to do. You know what I mean? You can create.
You can be the cool
You
guy.
you can oh man, you can create the ultimate version of yourself. But when you work with someone that's around you every day that knows you completely, you can't fake the funk with that. So a lot of times there may be things on my mind that in a normal circumstance I probably wouldn't speak on.
Right.
And normally in a normal circumstance I probably could hide or do something else to take away from it. But she sees it.
Yeah.
And it's times, we used to deal with that in the beginning of our relationship. I just want you to talk to me or be vulnerable with me, or
I like that so.
I can't think of some of the stuff you used to say, but she used to want, and women will want that from you.
Whatever's one.
Just to express, what I mean, women want to see you open up and talk about this and talk about that. And as dudes, we won't really do that. And I would caution for dudes, still keep some of that to yourself. You never want to lay all your burdens down on your woman, because that can change possibly how she looks at you. I don't care what she say.
I don't think we always have to know what's going on, but we want to connect. We want to
Okay.
connect, and that can be through touch, that can be through gestures, that can
Right.
be a small something. You know what I mean? But sometimes when you're not getting nothing, then we fishing, and then that makes you upset because now you're like, "What you doing? Like,
Yeah.
I don't need you to do that." Well, then let me know what you need me to do because I need to be in on it.
Yeah.
Because I can't be in this truck and know that you're. I ain't gonna say it's necessarily hurting, but I know something is going on because I know what your go tos are. Everybody have a go to. Like when something's going on, like things that make them, that fulfill them outside of yourself, that you might go to it for enjoyment or pleasure or whatever, and for different reasons. But when I see your mannerisms start to shift and changing, you don't recognize it, but I do. And I'm like, okay, today is one of them days. It could be a day when you want tattoos or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That could
I
be
can
something.
always tell when something is going on. And those are the days when my grace kicks in. And I have to say, okay, my acceptance of you is like, okay, my husband is this and that. Okay, this is a day that I might, cook something he really like, or I might have to rub on his feet a little bit or something, you know what I mean? Or do a little something. You know what I mean?
All right.
Something. Something.
But but and it
So
go back
Lois
to
said, yes, both people have to feel emotionally safe.
Ms. Pearl, that's a great topic. Thank you, Pearlie.
Oh, thank you. Goldfinger said, no kidding, there's a lot I don't say, but it's usually a need to keep peace. Always a need to
Yeah,
keep peace.
and
Always.
it's like, you know, like I've said before, most of us in this trucking space that look like us, we come from places where pain, sadness, or just various things, we use escapism a lot. Whether it's whether you gotta get off work every day and roll some up,
Drink.
whether you got to drink, whether it's you taking your stuff, other women, other people, you can literally up and separate yourself
Partying.
until you get yourself in order and come
Whatever
back.
it
It's like,
is
so
that-
we use escapism a lot in our community,
Yeah, we do.
but being in this trucking space, it's illegal.
Yes.
Like it's flat out a no. So either you gonna live your life trying to do this and still duck and dodge and try to play your little games, or you gonna go cold turkey and deal with stuff head on. And a lot of times that can be detrimental just because that's not something that you're used to doing. You haven't been even taught how to conflict resolutions and
Let me find out you advertising my book.
you know.
Let me find out.
I might have been
'Cause
I
I
might
was-
have been a major influence on the book.
Right.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
mean, this like I was telling Mo, like when I first came out here in trucking, I was just excited that I learned how to drive a truck. I was like, man, this was like a huge
Because
accomplishment
I didn't think you could do it.
for me, right? And but I did.
Absolutely, you did.
So I felt like it was, I was like, it's a huge accomplishment for me to come out here and drive a truck and everything. And the whole time, I never realized that really just getting into trucking helped me get to me. Like, I was able to face me. Like, a lot of the things that I struggled with in my life start coming to the surface in the truck. And I had to deal with it. And I had to face it. And overall, it really birthed my book that I got right now coming out.
I think trucking does what jail's supposed to do.
Yes.
And what I mean by that is the rehabilitation and mental rejuvenation that being taken off the streets, away from your family, friends, loved ones, influences, all that kind of stuff, supposed to sit you down long enough and have you soul searching.
Self-reflection.
But jail also has the bars where you can't escape.
Right.
And then they're not nurturing that type of thing either. That system is completely screwed up. But being in the truck, it's like literally a self-inflicted imprisonment.
Goldfinger said trucking will teach you about yourself for sure. You have nobody but yourself and your thoughts.
That's what I mean. So with that,
You have you know what?
Yeah,
Dang,
with-
I can't pin it.
so
'Cause I
with
ain't
with
in there.
that, that's why I say it's like a self-inflicted imprisonment, and it forces you to sit with yourself. It forces you to analyze. It forces you to think back and bring out, or recognize certain triggers, certain ways and actions that you have been doing that's so habitual at this point. But you got to know that it serves you no purpose. Like being this type of way and being overly aggressive and being so forceful.
Goldfinger speaking of that.
And being certain ways has served you no purpose, and it gives you an opportunity
It's not beneficial.
to soul search and be a different person.
Goldfinger said, I think that's why a lot of people, including teams, don't last. They can't face themselves and lash out.
Absolutely. So it's going to make you or break you for sure.
Right.
But the best part about teaming with a spouse is, and I don't want to keep trying to talk around how you team. Most of the teaming that we speaking of, when we speak of teaming,
It's couples.
it's couples, because
Right.
that's our perspective. But man, it's such a blessing to have a loved one, especially a spouse, on this truck with you and sharing this journey with you, because it has to be. Because I was on this solo for a
Chase.
handful of months, but it has to be a real issue to consistently and constantly go through this trucking life, to go through life in general alone.
Yeah.
But to do it from the confines of a truck has to add a great deal more of just dissatisfaction. And that's why a lot of people, like you said, don't last, because they just need the connection. They just need.
Shoot.
I'm just tripping off the fact
When I
that
came
I
out
feel
here,
blessed to
man.
have it, but I'm just tripping off the fact of how many truckers out here got a dirty back. Because there's no one to wash your back. There's no one to do the little things like that. That may seem so crazy, but it's like, bro.
Get you one of them scrubber brushes.
Yeah, I guess you can get a scrubber brush for sure. But you know what I'm saying though? It's just
back brushes.
and it's just the little things, some simple
I'm sorry,
as like
That was
touch
funny.
and just a comforting word, a comforting gesture that can change your whole day around. I mean, for some people go through their day and they may get a good gesture from somebody and it lifts their spirits
Right.
up for the whole day.
Right.
Can you imagine being in a truck on a day that you've already made your pickup and you got a full 10 hours, 11 hours worth of driving to do? The best gesture you're gonna get is welcome to Loves.
Right.
That's the only time someone's gonna give you a proper greeting, and they just doing it because they got to.
So that is something that should be considered right off the bat. If you come out here and teaming, you should be grateful and appreciative that you got your teammate.
Yeah.
You got
Absolutely.
somebody that was willing to get on the truck with you to say, hey, we're going to do this thing together.
Absolutely.
You know, we're going to go it together. We're going to get in the trenches together. Because guarantee you out here in the trenches.
Absolutely.
You out here in the trenches.
Yeah.
And you facing it together. And then when it's time.
Hey, cut it out.
When y'all have time to get out of the truck, turn up. I mean, you know what I mean? Go enjoy yourself and let go.
Yeah.
And whatever that is. Like my thing, y'all done seen it. I like to cook. I like to be in my space relaxing. I like messing in my head and doing all my self-care stuff. I got my little show I'm watching right now. I'm watching Suits
But
now.
get the Uber.
Do what you
Rent
want to do. Enjoy
rent
that.
the whip.
Enjoy it.
Go to a restaurant. Find a good spot to go to. Go watch a sunset. Go just do different things when you can. I ain't saying put the money to a side to go paint the town, but when you have downtime, get out of that truck. Get your hotel room. Get you some space. Go for little walks, and not in the funky truck spot.
Right.
Spot, but try to do things that can at least bring, give you some highlights to your day. Because once this is over and you know, all you got is the memories of what you had.
Right.
And we stay out for months at a time too. A lot of people can't handle that. A lot of people get out here in team, and you out here for 2 or 3 weeks, a month or so. I can't really function like that. I like to get to the money. I like the consistent checks and the consistent bread. So you got to be able to stay out here. In order to do that and function at a high level, y'all got to be agreeable. And y'all just got to have a consistent, steady, and good, loving vibe within your space, or it can become chaotic.
Yep. The Rogue Army Ranger said, "Yo, salute, respectfully."
That's an Apocalypse. What up, bro? Hey, Apocalypse. I'm trying, man. I'm getting that weight up off me, bro. I've been on my veggies heavy. I just got to come up with a proper workout regimen, or at least some consistent calisthenics. If it's no more than just push up.
I can't
I got a few
It's
abs.
done.
They popping in,
So-
man. They popping in, man.
And y'all seen him with his shirt off before. You about to see it all
But
the time.
Apocalypse really, he on the weight game and just lifting in general. So yeah, bro, I know you've been seeing some of the stuff I've been trying to do. So
He said you're doing very well.
I appreciate it, bro.
Go.
But I got more work to do. I got to gun up. You know what I'm saying?
Go Phoenix said, honestly, Mo, if Connie wasn't there, I think you have the same problem. I have where when I was solo, I'd work so hard for so long, I'd get sick and be forced to shut down sometimes for weeks.
Yeah. Well, she
I
catches me
need you to
before
stop
that.
doing that.
She catches me before I do that. There's plenty of times, yeah, I'll be ready to take
Oh,
this
he
load,
done
take
had
that
times his
load,
eyes was bulging out, and
and
I
she
was
would
like,
have to,
"Hey,
yeah, she would literally
yeah,
have to. Those are the times
it
that
is
she
not
would
that
speak
serious."
up, and those are times she would raise her voice, and force us to call a timeout,
Yeah.
and I need it.
It was
I
like
need it big
we
time.
ain't about to be dying out here with this money, and then on top of that, what is nothing more frustrating than to have money and can't enjoy it,
Yeah,
or just to have time and can't enjoy it because you're tired.
yeah.
You all, and we been through that. We done had them 5,000-mile weeks or like almost 6,000-mile weeks that when we did get a chance to be off, we couldn't enjoy nothing because we was burnt.
Yeah, we slept
We
like
slept
a whole day
a
or
whole
2
day or
days.
2 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, nobody trying to
No
go back to
energy,
that.
no energy to really do
None
anything.
at all. None
That's
at
a
all.
fact.
You know, we just really wanted to come and talk to you guys because a lot of people be reaching out to us. Y'all really do.
Yeah.
First of all, we appreciate y'all, all the new subscribers, everybody that followed us on Facebook and Instagram. We appreciate all of y'all. We got TikTok now too.
Ticking and talking.
But this just is about making up your mind. You know what I mean? That y'all are gonna do this thing, and you gotta talk through it. You gotta get through it. You gotta deal with yourself, and then you gotta deal with each other, and you gotta accept each other and understanding. You
And
gotta
just-
have that understanding.
And just for all the teams that's out here doing y'all thing, give yourself time to relearn, because a lot of what you know and what you think about yourself or your mate may not even be right and exact really as much as you think it is. Give yourself time to relearn each other. Give yourself the grace to deal with this new transition and this new way of living and new way of life that we call trucking. Because it's not a job, it's literally a lifestyle, and it changes everything about you. That the normal people and your normal family members that's outside of the truck, they don't understand this. They wouldn't understand it. They can't understand it as much as they gonna try to. So it's like, keep somewhat of your business to yourself. You know, don't bombard your family back home with a bunch of stuff and putting a certain light on your mate that may not be fair because they coming from a real biased aspect and angle. So give yourself the opportunity to relearn your person all over again, and you may find yourself falling in love with a whole different version of that individual. You know, there's a lot of people who come off the road. I think we talked to someone here recently that said when they get home, like they'll literally go days without seeing each other because they've seen each other so much, just to separate and get away from each other. And I guess in certain ways, that can be cool, but I don't really see the need to do that. Like
We have done not that specifically, but
Right.
maybe a day, and honestly,
Oh, that's
it's because
needed.
we was dealing with ourselves.
Yeah,
Like,
but that could be needed to get away and kind of free
We was dealing
yourself
with
of,
some
of all of
stuff,
that.
yeah.
But the best part
but
about
shoot, we were still talking to each other.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But
We still
I don't
talking
need
to
to
each
I don't
other.
need to get home and say I'll see you in a week.
Right.
Like, to me, that's
Right.
extreme.
Goldfinger said, I got sick in Florida in July a couple years ago. My grandfather got me, and I basically slept at his house for a week straight. Never letting that happen again. Please don't. It's not worth
That's
it.
literally exertion, bro.
It's not worth it.
And one of the leading causes in our community for real is sleep deprivation, and just
And our health.
going so hard and ignoring all of the signs within yourself. And that's something you can't do. You got to be more alert and more aware of just the differences in yourself and just the changes that's coming within you, because they coming, man. We're all that vessel that's constantly changing all the time. We learning new things, learning new ways, habits that you used to have. You start finding yourself finding flaw in those habits. But then you make the changes, but then you kind of feel guilty about making the changes, because now are you really being who you are?
And
You keeping it
leaving out-
real?
right?
Like,
and
all
you
of these
leaving out the
things.
people that knew you during that time when you was like that, and now they're questioning like, "Dad, what happened to What happened to my dude?
But
What happened to
we
my girl? It's like we
still here,
growing, we
man.
evolving, we
Facts.
changing.
But
What
we give
we needed
ourselves
and wanted
but we
has
out here on the
changed.
road, you give yourself the ability and the time to change. Where everybody else at home gets stuck in some of the same rat races all over and over again, where they don't see the error in the way for one, but they can't afford to change. They don't have no support in those changes, and they don't want to take anything that you do change or do try to make a change towards. There's going to be a time where you don't see any initial benefit.
Right.
So a lot of people, I don't want to smoke no more. But then you're around your homies, they doing it every day. Like you don't see a reason to not.
Right.
There's no benefit to not doing what everybody else is doing. But something inside you wants you to make those changes. So being out here on the road allows you to make those changes with no
It
judgment
allows you to discipline yourself.
Yeah,
in
without
areas
judgment.
Without judgment, yeah.
or ridicule or any of that kind of stuff. And you'll find out, a lot of us are who we are based on what our surroundings were.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? If Albert Einstein grew up in the hood in the 90s, he would have sold crack. You know what I'm saying? If certain people grew up in certain places during certain time periods, they would have done what everybody else was doing.
Yeah.
That's just how it goes. I didn't deal or do certain things in my life because that's who I was.
Yeah, it was the environment.
If I was a valley kid that grew up at the beach or a beach kid that grew up in California, I'd be Cowabunga and Hey Duden, and I'd be water surfing and all of that. But growing up where you grow up will kind of dictate and determine a lot of who you grow to be, but it's not so much always who you are. And that's a big difference. Get in the truck, put it in.
This Chase,
Get
y'all,
it in
for
there.
y'all who haven't
Get
seen her,
it
this is
in
Chase.
there.
But that's why when we first started, she was rubbing on me and kept messing with me, so I just
You
picked
see
her
that look? That's her. All the time.
So yeah, that's why like when we talk
Get it
about
in there,
teaming,
boobs.
we always try to share eliminating as much as you can before you get out here on the road. As much as you can, because it's gonna be enough stuff to worry about with trucking. You know what I mean? And just being out here with your mates. You making too much noise. I'm about to put you
And
down.
you know she can see herself.
She can.
Chip don't pay attention to the cameras, but she does. We can put her on FaceTime with the family members, and she looks at the screen, and she can see faces, and she knows who is who. Chip won't get at the camera. He ain't gonna pay it to it. He ain't gonna pay no attention to it. But she's very attentive in that way. I guarantee you, she might be looking out the window now, but if she chose to, she could see herself.
So once you are on the truck in a while, if y'all are pet friendly, you know what I'm saying, then you can get a pet too. That really adds another element of like comfort and stuff on the truck.
Oops.
You know what? I'm about to put you down.
Boo.
You like making snoring. Get down. Your breath stink.
Put her on Front Street. I can put her on. Put her business out in the street.
But so that's like one of the topics that we've been kind of sticking to, just relationship stuff. There's other things that we do want to talk about, like finances, your personal finances, your family structure, because that has a lot to do with coming out here and teaming too. When we came out here, our children were going to college. Our youngest one was in high school. It was her last year. So we didn't have to worry about making arrangements for our children and things like that. And they didn't have to worry about having somewhere to stay because I had my mom.
All right.
And so we could give up our place, which allowed us to really get ahead financially and
Facts.
get out of debt.
Facts.
What else? He just talked about sleep deprivation, but all of these things you really want to consider it, and it might seem like nothing until you get on the truck.
Then it's everything.
So you want to have the conversation, even if it's a conversation you got to visit and have over and over again. For us, that's been something that we're working on, because we know y'all been saying team trucking, y'all want to hear us. We can tell from our YouTube and Instagram that y'all really want to know more about team trucking. But even talking about some of the other things in team trucking, if you haven't got the main thing, up front that y'all need to work on, which is the relationship part, then your teaming is not gonna. It probably won't do well.
Right.
You gotta have that. So make sure that you have a good foundation in your relationship before you get on the truck. So it might not be the best idea to get on the truck with somebody you just met.
Absolutely.
Or somebody that you've been in a relationship for a short period of time. I ain't saying you can't do it, but maybe you do something temporary. Maybe you try it or something like that. Or maybe say, hey, you could come ride with me for a while or whatever. I don't know the person's situation, but you figure out a way to see if I can get to know this person.
Right.
Because it's too small of a space to be trying to get to know somebody.
Yeah.
And like I said, we've been together as long as we was like getting to know each other through the truck. I mean, there was things he was like, I didn't know you did. I was like, I didn't know you did that. Like, I didn't know you like that. I didn't know you like that. You act like you be doing that. You do. We was having those type of conversations, and we married 14 years, and we was having those type of conversations because we were not spending that much time together.
Yeah, I mean, you figure you together in the afternoon, eat dinner you got 4 hours before you going to sleep. Y'all waking up and going to work again. Y'all do that all week. The weekend come, y'all may do an activity or two, or you gone with your homies or your females to go do what y'all do on the weekends. Because you still got a personal life too, so you're trying to keep up and do certain things. So really, when it comes to knowing the person you're in a relationship with, if you broke it down as far as how many hours of quality time y'all really spend together, it's very minute, man.
Yeah.
So it's easy to keep a relationship going a long period of time when y'all only really relating for 5 hours
and it's like
a
an
day.
element of surprise in a way because you get to be gone from the person. It is like, ooh, hey, you see them. They gone all the 8-9 hours, and you get to see them. Hey,
Yeah.
I missed you. I missed you. Yeah.
See,
whatever.
ain't no missing.
At work?
Ain't no
What
missing
happened
going
at
on.
work?
Over.
You know
I
what
miss
I
you
mean?
so much. Ain't no missing going on.
Yeah,
over here.
nah.
I don't miss
not
you.
really. And then when we do get separated from each other, we be on the phone like, can't wait to get back.
Sometimes.
But that's because of the age now, I think. That's how
Sometimes.
long we've been together. Whatever.
Sometimes.
Don't play with me.
I'm just saying.
Do not do this.
We
on
keep it a
this
buck
live
over
feed.
here, married to the
Don't do
miles,
that on
man.
this
Hey,
live
man, it
feed.
is what it is. It's real life.
Gold Phoenix said a truck amplifies the deepest aspects of yourself, good and bad. And then Saloa said, don't hesitate to ask your partner what they need from you. Facts.
Absolutely.
I need you not to be saying that you don't miss me. That's what
I didn't say I
need.
don't. Well, I don't miss you because I'm with you all the time. And I didn't say I don't miss you when I'm not with you. I just said sometimes.
Don't get in the doghouse.
Hey, I own the doghouse. I'll bring you in the doghouse with me.
Well,
You
look,
already here. We in this little hotel.
Don't laugh at him,
We got the best.
Saloa. Do
We got the
not
best we could
laugh
get.
at
You know,
him,
it
Saloa.
was the best we can get to get us up out the truck. It ain't the best in the world, but we here.
These men,
We out
these
here.
husbands.
Yeah, man. But go ahead.
Yeah, so y'all let us know. Like, put some things in the comments. If you watch this video and you're watching the replay, put your questions or your topics in this video or any of our videos that we just recently did. We did another live, maybe a day ago? 2 days
Another
ago?
live?
Didn't we do a live?
Man, I think it was over a week ago at least.
Was it a week? Well, anyway.
At least.
Yeah, so let us know what y'all want us to kind of like piggyback on. Because it's a lot with it, but it's like, we don't want to be sitting on here
Rambling.
We want to really get to it and talk about the topics that y'all want to hear about.
Yeah.
Y'all our tribe.
That's a fact, man. So y'all already know, man. This is Married to the Miles. Like, share, subscribe. Let people know if you know couples or people in general that's talking about wanting to get into trucking. Send them our way, man. Let them know that we got content out here. They can kind of give them a brief overview of what it is. You can reach us directly on our social medias and different social medias at Married to the Miles also. Same as it is on here on YouTube. And yeah, man, we'll get back to you as quick as we can. We live a real life too, so it may not be like you just texting me or something, but you'll get some type of response back from me. I don't try to be that standoffish like that. And we'll be putting some more content out also. But you can find us pretty much consistently on Instagram. That's probably our easiest means of putting out content and putting out information of what we're doing from day to day. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
But yeah, Facebook at Married to the Miles, Instagram at Married to the Miles, and of course right here on the YouTizu.
And TikTok.
Oh, and TikTok too. She want to start doing some of that, so maybe we'll put some stuff over there too. She's more in control of that than me.
Yeah, we'll throw some stuff over there.
Yeah, man. So we appreciate the viewership. Appreciate everybody for falling through. I was hoping I'd do this one for so long. I ain't turning this into the bullpen or nothing. You know, we can't do them long joints like my bro be doing. But hey, man, we appreciate all the viewership. Appreciate
Yes.
everybody for falling through.
Yes.
Hopefully we're bringing some information to your world that you can go out and spread yourself. So that is what it is. You got anything you want to add on?
No, I think that's it for right now.
I'm digging this green shirt today
Yeah, that's nice.
with the gold. It laid good. I'm just saying it laid good. Chase, did you hear that?
Yeah. Burping.
I don't know if that was a burp or not. It might have been. That was the opposite. Hey man, but y'all know what it is. So like we always say, whether husband or wife,
Or besties for life.
or you just like what you like,
As long as you're doing it as a team,
you be alright.
you be alright.
This is Married to the Miles, man. Appreciate y'all for falling through. And we ghost, man, just like that. Hit me up. It's the Miles, baby.
Peace.
Peace.